You've poured hours into content, hours into optimizing your thumbnails, researching keywords, writing scripts, yet you feel stuck, no growth, no traction, and just a trickle of views. Absolutely frustrating. Well, here's the good news. We don't need viral videos or fancy editors or some hidden tactics to actually grow our channels. The truth of the matter is, most of us are just focusing on the wrong stuff, the wrong strategies that will actually grow your channel. Well, today I'm going to be sharing 13 of some of the most powerful tactics you can use right now to start growing your channel. So let's just dive right into it. So guys, one of the first places that I want to start might feel a little philosophical, right? But it's this whole idea of not chasing views, right? So I think what happens with a lot of us, me included, is we hit this point where we're almost willing to do anything to get views, right? We see other creators' content on a topic that we may not be excited about, that we may not have any passion for, yet we've seen someone else have a successful video on this topic and it's in our niche, and we think, well, maybe I should just create a video like that too. Well, and if you follow almost any YouTube guru, coach, strategist, whatever you want to call it out there, some of the most common advice that they give is to see what's working and replicate it, right? Which is all well and good. But what happens most of the time is we end up chasing the views and trying to create content that we're not excited about, that we're certainly not passionate about. And before we know it, we start to hate the process of creating content. Right? It starts to feel like a job or, some crazy thing that we don't want to do. And that's because we're not excited and passionate about creating that type of content. So I wanted to start here because one of the best things that is going to get you going and get you excited to create content for your channel that's going to grow your channel is to focus on the content that gets you excited, that makes you want to create. Because the more opportunities and the more videos that you put out there, the more chances you have for a video to take off and start growing your channel. Now, one of the next things I want to talk about is kind of a framework for creating videos that people really like to watch. And there's kind of a trend going on right now in YouTube that I don't think is going to be going away for a long time with these types of videos. I like to refer to these as experiments or challenges or something along those lines. And essentially what it is creators document something that they're doing and they share that with their audience. The whole I tried X for 30 days or I did this for a week and this is what happened type videos, right? In my case, it could be I posted every day on YouTube for 7 days straight. Here's what happened, right? And people love those types of videos because it's almost like you're giving them a framework. You're saying, hey, if you do this for 7 days or if you do this for 30 days, here's the potential of what can happen. And that gets people excited because they know that if they do those things that you share in that video, they have the potential to get the results that you did. Now, the other cool thing about those videos is even if the outcome of the experiment or challenge isn't successful, you still have a lot of cool information and stories to share with the audience. And those also relate to people really, really well because you start to show the hurdles, where you fell down, how you picked yourself back up, right? And that's very relatable because they're going through the same experiences and challenges as you. So win or lose your challenge or experiment, the audience gets massive value, and in return, it helps you grow your channel, right? So if I have a fitness channel, I might record a video of I did 100 push-ups every day for 30 days. Here's what happened. Or maybe I have some type of tech channel and I say, I didn't use my smartphone for 7 days. Here's what happened. And there's a number of different ways that you can do this in almost any niche. One of the best ways to do that is to attack the norm, the status quo. Like the one example I gave there, a tech person not using their cell phone for 7 days, that sounds crazy, right? So that audience would be interested in, well, what would happen if I didn't use my cell phone for 7 days? So that's how you tap into that. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is what I call a frame twist, right? So a lot of us think that as we create our YouTube videos, that the only thing that people care about are the results or the solutions. And, I got to get to that right away. But the truth is, oftentimes when we do that, we're giving all the excitement of our video away right out of the rip. And then we wonder why our retention is low. Well, an easy framework to overcome this is to start with a bold statement or fact at the beginning of your videos, or maybe even asking an intriguing question. You'll notice a lot of videos on my channel will start with a question, and then you start to build some tension by giving it a twist. So if I'm talking about creators, I might start a video with most creators fail because of this one big mistake, and then I can add a twist in that is something like, and it's probably not what you think. In fact, it's probably right in front of you every single day, but you don't see it. Right? So now the audience is on edge thinking, what is he talking about? What is this? And now they're hooked and want to watch and to find out what's going to happen. Instead of just starting the video with, hey, most creators fail because they're not focused on retention in their video scripts, right? So now people already have the answer and the reward, and it didn't hit near as hard as it would have if I would have built that tension in the beginning. Now, the next strategy I want to share with you is called the breadcrumb strategy. And if you've been in the online business world as long as I have, then you probably know where this comes from, where you had a website where you had your homepage, and then you would click on another page on the website and it would create like a breadcrumb trail. So it'd be like home, blog, and then I clicked on this post and it would say that post, and I could see that whole trail as I went through the website. Well, start thinking of the content that you create on your channel like that breadcrumb strategy, right? I want to create this video that is really awesome that leads people to this video. And then if they really want to dive deep, I'll take them to this video and I go even deeper in this video, right? So I strategically bring people from one video to the next, which is going to increase views, watch time, subscribers, all that kind of stuff. And this can be as simple as saying things like, if you're curious about XYZ, then I actually recommend that you watch this video because I've broken the whole entire strategy down, right? Simple, yet very effective to get people to continue watching. And when YouTube starts to see that people are going from one video to the next, all of a sudden that video gets a little boost from the algorithm because it's generating a lot of watch time. Now, the next big thing that I want to share with you is what I call search and suggest. A lot of the creators I see usually focus on one or the other. They create their video topics around a search term, or on the other end of the spectrum, they don't use keywords and search terms in their titles, but they more focus on, the homepage views, like getting people to click from the homepage or getting people to click from related videos. And what I'm starting to find with my content is when I get the best of both worlds is when I start to maximize the views on my videos, right? To give an example of this, a search-based creator might create a video title like how to start a podcast from scratch. And someone that's just focusing on trying to get suggested views might just say something like, this new strategy is blowing up creators on YouTube, right? And in that scenario, you have no idea that it's about growing a podcast. Well, what if you were to combine the best of both and say something like, this new podcasting strategy is blowing up on YouTube, start now. So now you're targeting people that would be interested in starting or growing a podcast, yet your title isn't boring and basic, that's just focused on keywords. Yet the YouTube algorithm will know that that video is about podcasting and starting a podcast and will promote it to the right people. The next big one that I want to share with you is the 5-3 rule. And what this boils down to is that for every video that you create, I want you to create 5 titles and I want you to create 3 thumbnails. Because a lot of times we think of a quick topic and title, record our video, and then we slap together a thumbnail and post it on our channel. And as I've implemented this 5-3 rule, I've realized that the majority of the time, I don't go with the title or thumbnail that I created first. And by just creating one each time, I'm leaving so many views on the table. So by forcing myself to create more for each and every single upload, I'm giving myself more chances to win. Now, the next big tip I want to give you is the fail fast approach. So many times we come on the YouTube platform and we want to create the best right out of the gates, right? Which is great. We want to have the best looking channel, create the best videos, the best editing, the best scripts, all this kind of stuff. And we forget the most important part of YouTube, which is actually posting videos. So we spend way too much time obsessing over doing all these things, which slows us down in the biggest thing that's going to lead to our success on YouTube, which is actually posting videos. We need to do the thing that is going to actually get us the results on the platform. Now, I'm not saying that we can't focus on creating the best content that we create, but if we do it at the mercy of hardly ever posting content, then yeah, let's not do that. Let's start posting. Let's fail fast and learn from those failures and how to get better and get better results. Now, the next strategy that I want to share with you is what we call the topic ladder. So I typically find 2 types of creators, especially in tutorial or teaching style niches, where they either create very basic beginner level content, or they go to the opposite end of the spectrum and create very advanced content. And typically that's where a lot of people go because, they want their content to look smart and share all the greatest cool stuff, and they forget about the beginners. Well, What if instead you had a ladder approach, right? You had content that targeted beginners, but you also had deeper content that targeted more advanced, experienced users, right? Because now you're casting a little bit wider net because you're targeting two different types of people, and you're building a ladder that your beginners can grow with you. And as they learn more and more of the beginner stuff and start advancing their skills, well, now they can also work their way up into watching your more advanced content. And I also find that I'll even get beginners come in on my advanced content, watch that, and realize that they're not quite ready for it yet, but they realize that, hey, this guy knows his stuff, and then they start watching my beginner level content. Now, the next big strategy that I want to give you is to come up with a format or style for your content that's going to stick out and stand out from the noise. A lot of us go into our room where we record our videos and we just press record and we do the same thing, right? Or we create boring content, if I'm being honest. And that's because we don't go to record with a strategy in mind, right? One of the big things I do on this channel is create experiment-based content. I test a tool or a strategy that is working for other YouTubers or being talked about a lot, and I conduct an experiment, and then I share with my audience what happened. Did it work? Did it not work? What did I learn? What was my experience with it? And that gives me a format for my content that stands out from the noise. I didn't just come on there and say how to use the XYZ tool, right? I set it up with an experiment. Here's a brand new tool that everyone is raving about, and I wanted to put it to the absolute test to see if it could help you grow your channel faster. So in this video, we're going to be deep diving every single feature, and I'm going to share with you exactly what happened to my videos after using this tool for a week, right? That's much different than coming on there and say, hey, in today's video, I'm going to show you how to use the XYZ tool to get more views for your channel. It has a totally different feel and framework to it. And there's going to be 10 people that create that same how-to style video, where if I'm using a format, chances are I'm going to be the only one doing something like that for that particular topic, right? And all it takes is just a little bit of creativity or using AI to help you come up with a format that would make that video interesting. Now, the next thing that I think a lot of YouTubers are missing out on that's leaving a lot of views on the table is simply repurposing some of their best content. And there's multiple ways that we can do that. And no, I'm not talking about chopping it up into shorts and trying to grow your audience that way. What I'm talking about is a couple of different things. Number one, if you have content that has worked on your channel before, it's time to create related content or updated content on those same topics, because chances are if it's performed well once, it'll perform well again. And the second way that I suggest that we use this strategy is we actually take a lot of our content and combine it together into a comprehensive guide or course, and then we release that as one massive video on our channel, right? I recently seen a YouTuber post a 23-hour course on their channel, and it's actually kind of brilliant. People are seeing this as this massive resource of valuable content, and they want to go through it, consume it, and learn everything about that topic. And what most of them don't realize is that the majority of that content was already on that person's channel. They just took the time to organize it, edit it, and teach it in a linear format like an online course, and edit it and cut it up and put it all together to make this comprehensive massive guide. And it's a brilliant strategy because people watching get a ton of value and love the content, and the person that created it created this massive resource with content that they already had and simply took some time to edit it together. And videos like this can actually explode your channel or be a resource that every new person that comes into your content finds this big, massive, awesome piece of content after they watch one video, and that can blow up your watch time, your subscriber count, and get a ton of returning viewers because how amazing this big piece of content is. Now guys, these are some of the best strategies that I've started implementing to really start to gain traction on my channel. But right now, if you feel like you're kind of stuck and almost kind of feeling unmotivated because your channel isn't quite getting the results that you want, then I highly encourage you to watch my video on how to stay motivated even when your channel isn't growing and why you should continue to post videos. So I'll leave a link to that, and I'll see you in that video.